There we go. I need lighter. There we go. It is Sunday the 30th of July. It's 5:30, and we're live on online readings, online live psychic readings, and we'll see who's here. Hello, Kirsty. Hi, Stacey. How are you? How are you both? Good to see you on this Sunday afternoon. I hope it's not pouring it down with rain where you are. We've managed to avoid it here in not so sunny Swanage, but how are you? Hi, Marissa, how are you? Hi, Chris. How are we doing? Yeah, I'm not bad. Still struggling a little bit with the asthma and the breathing. So if the microphone picks up me wheezing, you know what it is. Let's just see if these scroll up. Yes, they are. Good evening from Wales. Hello, Debbie. Hi, Maxine. So yes, we're live here on online live psychic readings. It's 5:30. I'm here for about the next hour. Sunday the 30th, and then my name is Simon. If you haven't seen me before, I think my link will probably pop up on the ticker tape below. I sort of read with oracle, with crystals, with objects. But I'm going to begin with a little bit of something different, something that's come to me over the last few minutes. I usually sit for about 5-10 minutes, just kind of clearing my thoughts before a live. And I'm going to read out a description. Hello, Debbie, how are you? I'm going to read a description of a figure that has been brought for me. And I wonder if any of you there can take it. So if I don't get to say hello, it's because I'm describing this person. And if you think you can take her, listen to everything I say and then let me know, and we'll see what we can do. This is a lady in spirit. And I've honestly got a whole load of notes that I was jotting down furiously before we came on. She would be in her early 70s, but a very kind of fit 70s. She's still walking upright, still got out and about quite a lot, didn't need a stick, didn't need a walker, anything like that. She had long white hair, but it wasn't tidy. It was kind of unkept, I should say. Straw-like feeling to this hair kind of thing. She's a sort of lady that would have always been out in the fresh air. If I don't get to say hello, I apologize. I'm just reading out my notes. Always would have been out, but one of these people that never wore a coat. She'd layer up, you know, woolly overcoat, woolly whatever, but the top coat was woolly, and almost fingerless gloves cuts and things. She was always out in nature. Side messenger bag of some sort. She always had herbs. There was always herbs upside down hanging in her home. Something's telling me she had a one-story place, like a flat or a bungalow or possibly a caravan. I feel like she lived on the edge of something. So maybe the edge of a piece of land, maybe in the grounds of somewhere on the perimeter, as it were, or edge of a wood or something like this. She wasn't in a residential area, as to say. We could have described her as the mad cat lady, but there was no cats because she was always out. She ain't got time to look after pets. She was always out kind of foraging. She didn't go to church, but she had her beliefs. She always looked alone, but it wasn't. It was the kind of aloneness you feel when you're completely at one in peace. She didn't suffer fools. She had a forthright mind, and she would tell you to her face. And there's something about blue ribbons, not the biscuit, a pale blue ribbon. Now maybe that's what she tied the herbs up with. Maybe that's what was on the hat. If she wore a hat, something. She epitomizes that, the kind of earth mother. Don't think that she had children, so what's the word, spinster? But I just think she was one of these that everybody knew of. Now her crossing, it feels like one day she was there and one day she wasn't. I know what the kind of message she wants to give to someone, because I've got it here. It's one of the first things that came down. But I don't know. Now I'm now going to look at the screen and see if anybody feels like hello. It's talking. It's linking to you. Julieta Rosa. Hi Jesse. For some to see, I know you. Okay. Julieta Rosa thinks it's for you. For her. So Julieta Rosa, I don't think this is necessarily, well, this isn't a family member, because I feel fairly clearly that fairly surely, that's not the right word. I'm fairly sure, I am sure that she didn't have children. She was a spinster. Now it may have been somebody that you were aware of growing up. It was the lady that lived down the lane that did that kind of thing. But there's a connection to you in some way, shape, or form. Whether you had, I don't know, you found a poorly bird while out or something, and you happened to bump into her and she showed you what to do, that kind of feeling. Typical Earth Mother, unless you yourself are one of these people that likes to forage, likes to pick herbs, hang them up, ribbons, put them up, almost as if you're following along with some of the things she used to do. Yeah, very powerful, Sophie. That's what I'm getting the excuse the description, but I'm getting the Gandalf feel about her. She didn't need anybody. She was fine. She'd be cooking her own concoctions or whatever she found. Lived on a very basic diet. Couldn't abide being inside. Always out. You know, mittens with holes and the cardi with the elbows worn out, that kind of thing. But I'm also getting Granny Weatherwax. Now that's a character from Terry Pratchett. Yeah, you could call her a modern day kind of earth-based witch. Think it's a family friend. Okay, she had friends, but she didn't really like, you know, she was quite happy. Julia Rosa. The message is clear here for me, and it's be true. And I'm honest. I don't know if you see it there. That was the message. That be true. This is about following your own footsteps, making your own footsteps, and making the place in your world yours. Don't follow anybody else's guidelines. If you don't fit the generalistic mold, fine. That's because you are not meant to. I don't know if this is having any kind of vibration with you or kind of hits any nails on the head. But she was, back in the day, she was seen to be as the weird one, the odd one, the one that didn't fit in. Yet she was still held in high regard. She just wasn't the normal 70-year-old type lady that we all kind of stereotypically imagine, the wise woman. So Juliet Rosa, is this message of being true to yourself, is this resonating with you? Are you, for example, fighting that battle, or constantly kind of thinking you don't fit in, or thinking, why don't I fit in? Okay, That's a big, yeah, big link. You know, we grow up sometimes thinking, what gang do we fit in? Are we the football gang? Are we this gang? Are we that gang? You know, where is our part? And I'm guilty of it, of trying to force a link with a particular group of friends, and you end up kind of finding yourself at the moment setting boundaries. And sometimes the reason we don't fit in is because there isn't necessarily a group made for us. Possibly we don't need a group, and the journey is about discovering how strong we can be as individuals. Hence, you get that kind of lonely that borderline kind of loneliness. But when we get to terms to it, and we suddenly realize that we don't need anybody else for that kind of thing. We might need them for the reasons, but if we do what we do and we're not harming anybody, why do we need to fit in to a social group or fit social parameters? Do you know what I mean? So Julieta, be true. It's clear as a whistle. She didn't fit in. She didn't give a hoot. Fine. That's what you need to do. Bit different to everybody around me. And that's wonderful. You know, it's a lesson that I'm still learning and kind of working with, that I'm not anybody's mold. On the spiritual scene, I've made more kind of friends, and I've been connected with people that kind of mirror my thoughts and feelings. So there is a place for you, but you don't need it. You need to be you. That's it. So when I leave this lovely white-haired Earth Mother, White Witch, wandering off into the woods, wishing you her best and saying, do it for yourself. All right. Okay, so I'm not sure how many people have joined us since then, but we are live here on, and I always forget the name, Online Live Psychic Readings. Thank you to Veronica for having me back. My name is Simon, and I will see where I can go shortly. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm learning to myself. Yeah, Sophie, I agree. Loneliness comes from a lack of self-fulfillment. Fulfill self. Yeah, and sometimes it's a really quite a tricky lesson to discover, and not so much learn, but I think often it's only when we get older we start to realize some of these home truths. I'm learning to be myself, and if people don't like it, they're not meant to be in your life. Absolutely, absolutely. If they don't like it, they don't need to be here, kind of thing. Right. Let's go to the enchanted map. Give my spiritual side a rest for a second. How are we? Yes, Stacey, feeling lonely in the crowded room. Yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying. It's a difficult one, that. And sometimes we have to go to events where we think, oh, we don't really want to enjoy it. We have to kind of just show face. You know, it is tricky sometimes. Thank you for letting me know where you all are and that you are here. Debbie, if I may, I'm going to write your name down. Debbie Hitchcock. I've said that correctly. Hitchcock, yes. How are you? I hope you're well. Debbie, if I can pull a card for you. Thank you, Debbie Hearn. It's really kind of you to say. Excuse, I apologise if you can hear me wheezing. I'm a little bit Darth Vader-y today. I suffer with asthma quite heavily, and sometimes it flares up. So I do apologise if you can hear that in the background. Good. All right, so one card has just stopped me shuffling. Excuse me. It's quite a pale looking card, so I shall hold this up as clear as I can. Try and not get the flash of the camera on it. Whoops. There we go. These are a set of cards by Colette Baron Reid called the Enchanting Map. It's the first deck that I ever bought. Second deck to start, working with me, as it were. It's called Ghostlands. What number is it? 817, which comes to an 8. Fits the Ghostlands. Right, so with my research, Debbie, 8s represent the kind of rough with a smooth. It's that constant flow of energy that flows like, I'm backwards now, flowing like a roller coaster. Yes, a lot of people flip it on its side and say that circle of infinity, what goes around comes around. Yes, I agree, but I keep it vertical because I very much picture it as sometimes life flows really smoothly on the downward stroke. And when it comes to the bottom, things start to slow down and it's chug, 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 nose to the grindstone, back up to the point where you level off, ready for the next kind of smooth session. And that does, it just constant, always, always. Same with it on the side, there's this constant flow of energy. The thing with the 8 is the way I stand it up is that sometimes when we get to the bottom and it is chug, 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 what makes it easier for us to understand and to appreciate is that regardless of how long it takes to chug up, thank you, Debbie, I'm on 3 or 4 different inhalers, but I'm being referred to for COPD, so it's one of those things. It's pause. Yeah, when is that the live? Yeah, it's chug, chug, chug. No matter how long it takes, every second you are getting higher and higher, and you're getting up that ladder. And when you get to the top, the kind of pinnacle, it's not that all of a sudden its hands out all the way down again. Hold on. It's more of it's kind of the straight, and it just flows. As you can tell, there's that breath of fresh air. You perhaps get up and think, "Oh, today the energy is gonna flow again." And at the moment, I think you're experiencing, I should say, this chug, 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 and I feel that it's slower than usual. It hasn't stopped, but slower than usual. Debbie, can you just confirm that the live hasn't paused, or whether live, for example, is on a pause? Because if the live broadcast has paused for you, then you're not going to hear what I'm saying. Oh no, it stopped. The live has stopped, or the journey, as it were. Sorry. Oh no, can't have been the live because you've just commented back, so it's flying right. Yeah. And the card is Ghostlands. Now, if I hold it up again very carefully, there are steps going up towards 2 doors in a brick wall, but there are also 2 clocks in kind of a ghostly background. One, I've got the numbers 1 to, sorry, I keep flashing the card, I will keep it still. 1 to 24, around the outside. And the interior clock are astrological symbols. So you are in betwixt. You're in neither here nor there. So it almost feels, if you can definitely see the light, thank you. It almost feels as if you've perhaps stepped away or stepped off of your current path. Now, don't usually feel it with this card, but it feels like there's a little bit of confusion there, as in, not what am I doing, where am I going, or anything like that. It feels as if, Debbie, there's some questions that you need answers to before, if it has stopped, Debbie, please watch it back and you'll hear what I'm saying. The questions that have caused you to sidestep off this last track, as it were, because they need answering before you go forward. Debbie Hitchcock I've been talking to. I did say, I think, yep. Okay, it's back. Yeah, Debbie Hitchcock. So yes, if things have been a bit sluggish for you, more so than usual, it feels as if there's a question that needs answering, and it's that waiting for the answer which is causing you to not be able to kind of move forward. It's blocking the path. Ghostlands, neither one thing nor the next, and you're in between. So you're kind of on the edge. You're waiting for something. Yes, with you. Let's have you another one. So if you're aware of this question, have faith that the answer will it will present itself to you. If you're not sure what the question is, are you therefore wondering yourself, what's next? Where am I going? What am I doing? And we all have those moments in life, some more than others, when we question something happens and you question the path you're on, the friends you're with, the lifestyle you're leading, that kind of feeling. And until you get a clearer vision of what you want, I think that's put the pause button on you climbing back up, as it were. Now you had the eights, you understand. The second card, it's card 41, comes to a 5. I'll tell you about the 5 first. So with my research, now I'm aware that everybody that does numerology will have a different spin on things. But 5 for me is, yes, it's linked to the senses, and most people will say that about the senses. And number 5, because we have 5 of them. But I'll hang on for a second. To me, 5 is alive. This is about, sometimes we live in this life that we live, and what's the word? Things get a bit. Excuse me from saying it. Sometimes things get a bit dull. It's the same routine: eat, work, sleep, repeat, kind of thing. And sometimes our senses get desensitized because of the nature of the environment we're living in. So what the 5 says to me, Debbie, is to try and do, and I know it's difficult, every day, something that kicks one of those senses into next week. You know, when you're shopping next, buy a fruit that you've never tried before. Simple one. Try a flavored tea that you've never drank before. Turn the shower down a few degrees so you get that kind of shiver all through your body that just jolts your senses back in together. Burn more and more joss sticks, or a different flavored joss stick, or just go and look outside, but for nothing in particular, you know, and spot the little things. Get those senses firing, because it can ground you completely. Also with the 5, sorry, nearly forgot there. With the 5, it's the 5 directions, and you're going to say, hang on, there's only 4: forward, back, left, and right, that we can move in. But there's also inwards. This feels more than ever, and it could link to that blockage I was telling you about, or this direction. The energy needs to go back into you. Debbie, you've got to cut a few ties, I think, and focus some time for yourself, some not candles around the bath and a bottle of summer. I mean, something that is going to really comfort you, whether it's reading a favorite book from when you were a child, or going back, getting in touch with that hobby, or seeing that friend you've not seen in ages, who cooking the meal that only you can cook, that gives you that really good. I have an emergency. I'm trying to find me stuff. I have an emergency meal in the freezer, and please don't laugh, but it's one of those meals that I had as a kid. And it's one of those meals that wherever you are in the country, you buy it in the freezer section, and it always tastes the same. And it's that kind of meal that I think, if I don't know what I want, I don't know what I'm doing, or I just need something, that's the meal that I go for. Don't ask me what it is, because it's a bit of a weird one, but there you are. It's that kind of thing. So what I'm saying is, sometimes you just need to eat what you need to eat to make you feel better, you know? So get those senses. I'm trying to find me stuff. You're trying to find yourself, or me stuff, things to do. Sorry. Well, this is the first card that was ever drawn for me, ever. Unexpected visitors. You are certainly looking for something, and you're doing it very, very carefully. She's peeking through that door at whatever it is. And this is, I think, this more than ever tonight is you discovering something about yourself. Get the senses fired up, continually ground yourself, and experiment. Look, look into different things, find what that blockage is that we were talking about. And if it is purely and simply because you're not, giving you the self-compassion, the self-love, if you're not giving yourself the pleasures that you need to pleasure in whatever it is you do from day to day, then that's got to be a priority. Pick up a set of watercolors, do some painting, do some crafting, do some cooking, go to the flicks, meet a mate from work or something, I want to give you a color so that we can say, right, let's give you a color card. It's another 5. That's pretty cool. Magenta, connect to your deepest inner knowing. Debbie, I think you know what needs to be done. I wonder whether it's a difficult thing, as in you're not quite sure how, why, when, but perhaps deep down you know. And that's the decision. All the best to you, Debbie. And thank you for letting me pull you a card. Or 2, I should say. Right. So 8 and 2 5s. Yeah, definitely connect. Hope that was okay, Debbie. Right. So those that have joined us while I was reading from Debbie's, hello. How are you? Long time no see. Yes, it has been a very long time. I'm just catching up on some of these messages. Debbie's still here. Chris is still here. You're welcome. Thank you, Chris. It was amazing. Not sure if that was it. Thank you so much, Chris. It was amazing. So I'm not sure if that message was me or somebody else. Let's have a look. Keep your comments coming up for me. Paul Luke. Where are you? Didn't get your second name. Paul Luke. There you are. Paul Luke. If you're the gentleman that I think you are, it has been an awfully long time. Paul Luke, can you just confirm? Not that I'm going from memory, because I know it was got to be 18 months ago, possibly longer. Are you the gentleman that had just moved to Scotland or something with your partner to, relocating up to Scotland? That's all I can remember. If it's you, I may be barking up completely the wrong tree. Which has been known. What we're looking for, these cards. And he said, we are. Fabulous. Well, it has got to have been 18 months, 2 years since I've seen your name pop up. So I hope you're both well. Let me see what I have for you. And I've openly admitted that I remember you were both, I think you had recently relocated or certainly on the way to Scotland. But apart from that, I know nothing at all about you. And it's 18 months ago, so there's no way I can remember what I said either. And you're loving it. I'm glad to hear. Now, no more info, please, because you're feeding the bed. Good memory. Sometimes you're getting there. It takes a while. I'm currently trying to relocate myself, but it's taking a lot longer. So, thank you again for joining us this evening. Debbie Hearn, you're not Simon. I don't know what's going on there. Sorry. I think there might be another conversation going on, so I will try to ignore the comments in the scene. Right. Let's have a look. Right, you've got card 23, which comes to another 5. So we've had 2 5s for Debbie previously. But I don't feel the 5 fits for you at the moment. 5 doesn't feel like it fits for you. I want to do that. I don't know what Darwin means. Poor Luke, I kind of want to do that. And that's... Why am I doing that? It's not a wave. Bear with me a second. It's not a wave. It's that. So why would I do that? Okay. Right, I'll come back to that in a second. Poor Luke. I'm just going to call you Paul if that's all right, because I think this is there's 2 names together, Paul and Luke. Paul. Well, it might be Luke. So, healing the heart. A lot of green on here. Hands on the heart chakra. So, yes, healing the heart. Don't feel this has got anything to do with heartache or that kind of feeling. Healing the heart. It's not to do about love. Why we're healing. Paul, you're not a healer, are you? Because that kind of would explain that, the kind of laying on of hands. Paul, you don't do energy healing or Reiki or anything of that ilk, do you? Because it felt very much as if you would, that's a kind of, almost a magic, almost like a magical pose. Magical, that isn't the word I'm looking for. Do you know what I mean? Almost kind of you're laying your hand on somebody, and my hands are really hot at the moment. And Paul, are you a healer? Are you Reiki? Oh, it's Paul Simon, thank you. I've been told I have done spiritual healing. Right, my hands are red hot. Right, and it almost felt, when I say a magical pose, it's not like Paul Daniels' magical pose. It kind of felt as if you were letting go of, double there, letting out energy or some form. If you aren't, I suggest it would be very much worth looking into, because this doesn't feel like you are healing your heart or your partner's heart. This could be healing, or could be, say it is, Simon, you healing others. Passing on that energy to wherever. I mean, I've recently qualified as Reiki 3, but I'm not trying to selling business or anything. But I feel that there is something with you that you need to enhance, grab hold of, utilize, and pass on. And 5 just for me just feels like completely letting it out and letting it go. Gonna pull another card because that seemed quite quick and quite my mother-in-law's heart. Stop feeding the bears, Paul, but if she is unwell, then I send her my best. I'm sure we all do. And if she's crossed, which again I don't know because you said about her. Okay, you can't have that many. Okay, I'm giving it a try. No, you can't have all those. No, there's about 19 cards there. You can't have all those. 19 comes to a 10. Right. Poor lost father-in-law in January. So father-in-law and mother-in-law. Not everybody gets on with their mother-in-law, but I feel that you do. And maybe more time with her then. And I'm just, because of what you said, maybe you can in some way be the support that she needs. I don't know. I don't. Probably too soon to discuss whether she's spiritually inclined or aware or open to spirit, and I'm not sure that it's the time and the place to do that. But I think just you perhaps directing some of your, of course you're doing it already, your goodwill, but concentrate on this healing side of things, sending it her way. Second card is Waken the Lion. Now, Good. I'm glad you see it. Waking the line can sometimes feel as if you've had enough and you are about to burst. But I think this is a real positive wake in the line. It's as if, and if you look in the pattern at the top, there's almost like the outline of an eagle spreading its wings and taking off. Paul, I definitely want you to look into the possibility of doing a Reiki course. She's very spiritual. Right. That helps because she's open to it. If you were to say to her, for example, right, can you sit there or lay on the bed? I'm just gonna hands off approach and just let the energy flow from you to her. Doesn't need to be there or any of the Reiki positions. Just with you, I mean, it might be worth doing the Reiki positions, but I would say just let her know you were there. My hands are really hot, Paul, and just you seem to be vibrationally very high, and I think you've got to share. And this is what I'm meaning with this. There's once you start down this path, that's it, mate. You know, onwards, upwards, and strength to strength. I've got to pull a color card. It's high vibrations and colors. You know what? I was and Veronica might find this interesting. I was looking at all the sort of new oracle cards that are being released, and I was only thinking the other day. I know it's a bit weird, but why haven't we got any oracle cards that have sound that portray sounds? You know, we've got colors and energies, but we haven't kind of got. And maybe it's one for me to develop oracle cards that embody sounds. And then I found a set of oracle cards which are in my Amazon basket that have QR cards in the back of them, so that you look at the card, you interpret the card, and you can scan the card in, and it plays the sound on a device or phone. So that's what I've just been told myself I need to get. Right, you've got another 5. So you had 5, 10, 5. So 10 was breakthrough, which is that wake in the line. Once you know and you've made that commitment to this energy kind of healing, that's it. It's gonna a steep learning curve, and you're gonna know it, and you're gonna be able to use it. And the 5 has just echoed it. 5 are either side of the 10. Plum, overcome your challenges. If you've been told, Paul, that you have done this before, past life, pre-life, etc., or that you have this spiritual charge within you, what's stopping you from having to go? Is it self-belief? Is it doing the right course, or thinking you need to do the right course? If indeed you do need to do a course, courses are things we just put. Courses are things we create to steer people to do the things we want to do them our way, kind of thing. You know, you may well just know that you go with your instincts. So that's putting. So Paul, what's stopping you? I'm asking you directly. What confidence? Right. Paul, if you need a safe space, as it were, to play and to practice your craft, message me afterwards. I have a weekly safe space where people can come and go to discuss all things spiritual, energy, practice, and so on and so forth. If it's of interest. If not, I'm sure there are circles up where you are, spiritualist churches where you can go and seek advice. But if you get stuck, you know where I am. But I think it's not confidence. It's kind of trust and belief. My second mentor used to hark on times about its trust and belief, which is not big-headedness or anything. It is just knowing that you can to some degree and that you're going to do it. Right, Paul, I'm going to leave you there. Hope you and your partner are well, and hopefully it's not another 18 months before we speak again. Thank you. What is the time? 10 past 6. That's good then. Right. Smashing. Nice one. Right. Let's move on. Thank you for anybody joining or have since joined. My name is Simon. I do things. Thank you, Stacey. I do things a little bit different. I think. I don't know. My way, my thing. You're welcome, Paul Luke. Carol Ann. I'll try and speed up so I can do a few more. But when I first awoke, I used to do these lives and used to just go so quickly. Partly through nerves, I suppose, and partly for not wanting to have those seconds where you're quiet, you know. But now it kind of feels more relaxed to go at my own space. Debbie Hearn, I don't know what that comment was for, sorry. So Carol Ann, I'm with you. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do one animal on one colour and see what we can get from that. All right. And an attempt to try and squeeze a few more in. Stacey, it's part of that trust and beliefs. You know, the first live was in the closed group, and I knew the people I was there, but yeah, it's kind of that internal switch where you go from, you never not doubt yourself, but you kind of feel more comfortable in what you're doing and with the connections that you get and in what you say, which is not cocksureness or anything, you know, it's just you learn to trust and believe. Oh, I do love a number 25. I do love a number 25, and that's an odd thing to say, I know, because but yeah, me and 25s. So first of all, Caroline, 25 2 and 5 comes to a 7. 7's one of the numbers I've got on my wrist. Got 11 there and 7 there. Don't ask me why, I come on another day. And 7s for me are all about learning, which is not as boring as always start a new course or go do some online. Learning can be from a mentor, can be from a spiritual teacher, could be from a lawyer, from a doctor, from somebody that you hold in high regard as far as knowledge. Could be a download, could be an upgrade, could be an epiphany moment, could be seeing things from another perspective where you suddenly go, that makes sense. That kind of thing. 11 is your number. Fab. Well, there's the 11 and there's the 7. Card is 25. Learn from the past. Now we all know, so the saying goes, elephants have a long memory. So do we. We often remember the challenges in our lives as opposed to the good times. But the challenges are where some of the learning, if not most of the learning, can come from. We remember good teachers, etc., people that made an impression on us. So this card is telling me to tell you, as it were, to look back. Don't make the mistakes you've made already. Sorry, let's rephrase that. I should never tell anybody not to make the mistakes again, because the mistakes we make are the ones we learn from. And sometimes we can make the mistakes 2 or 3 times over and over again over a period of 5, 10, 15 years, 15 days, whatnot. We keep making those mistakes because we haven't learned the lesson the first time round, you know? And it's only with hindsight can we turn around and say, I get it now. So the first time you might learn a lesson and it might be heartache, for example. The second time, similar heartache, because the point was they weren't right for you at that time or weren't right for you, full stop, you know? So learn from the past in order to move forward. Lovely. And you can see the angel wings in the ears of the elephant as well there. Beautiful, stunning looking card. Look. So yes, 7. Time now to look back, to think, what can I take moving forward? All right, let's pull you a color. The reason why I've got 11, if I'm going to bore you all senseless now, the reason why I've got 11 on this wrist is that in the realm of alchemist and alchemistry, 5 represented man, so a woman or human, mankind as it were, and 6 represented divinity. And in their mind, they wanted to raise their They wanted to be enlightened to the point that they were somewhere between humankind and divinity. They weren't, when they knew they would never become divine, but they wanted to be above man. So they said they want to be somewhere in the middle between a 5 and a 6. And rather than having 5.5, they called it 11. So they aimed to be 11, halfway between mankind and divinity. And this card is 37, which comes to a 10, which for me is breaking through the mold. Activate your, what is it? Activate your healing power. Learning from the past. Carol, sorry, but it feels as if perhaps, no, not perhaps, come on, trust and believe, Simon. There has been a period of time, the last 3, 5, 6 months max, I reckon, where you've had to slam the brakes on. There has been a difficult time. I think you're on the way out of it. And this looking back and learning is learning and taking. This is, again, whatever you've learned, or in the period of learning, I should say, is a biggie. And actually, it's going to perhaps not inspire is the wrong word. It's going to motivate, there's a better word, motivate you to move forward with more focus, with more drive, with a better viewpoint almost, you know? So I know it says healing power, but yes, healing the heart, healing what has happened to the point where it has no more, a lesser hold upon you, you know? Memories are always memories, and they're still always there, and some of the harsh ones are always there kicking around in the back of the head. But as we move forward, the hold they have upon us weakens. Can you take that? Karen, totally true, Simon. I'm pleased that makes sense to you. So look back, and don't look back with anger, look back with compassion and say, you know what? It's happened. Move forward, but I'm not going to forget blah, blah. Do you know? And I'm going to learn from it, be wiser from it. Carol, thank you. I'm going to have another slurp of tea and move on quickly, if it's okay. Right. And if you like what I do, my private, my closed groups being on the ticker tape, be lovely to have a few more members. I also make spiritual things by hand, pyrography, wood turning, pendants, crystals. I don't make crystals, but I use crystals. So take a look at my little hobby, my hobby site. I create spiritual things. I'm just going to read Deborah's comment. Oh, I see. We all moved to different parts of Scotland. All right, let's have a look. Hello, Patrick. How are we doing? Compassion is true. Many lessons. Yeah, you'll. Oh, bless you. Thank you, Caroline. That's lovely of you to say. Thank you. Is there a link to my hobby site? My hobby? Yeah, I would say it's more of it's a business that I've started 3 or 4 years ago and trying to grow slowly. I'm looking for new names. Stacey, I know it's it's not often that readers get cards read for them, so let's give you a quick two, Stacey, if that's all right. Stacey Sparkle. Hi, Paula. If I don't get to say hello, I'm not being rude. It's just I can't see everybody at once. Okay, so this card's just jumped out for you. It's a 19, so it's another 10, Stacey. So it's another kind of breakthrough, suddenly made aware of epiphany type feel. It's dog spirit. Be loyal to what you love. Are you under pressure to change something? You haven't, yeah. Is there a kind of an issue where you may be having to. No, I can't say it any better than I said it before. You are. In that case, you can listen to what they say, but only you know what you need to do and why you need to do it. And even to the point of saying, well, I'll tell you what, I love what I'm doing. It's not making, for example, it's not making any money, or it's not going where exactly as where I want it to go as fast as I want it to do, but it's trust and believe. There's those three words again. It's about sticking to it. Not sticking to your guns as in argumentative, but doing what you feel is right for you. And with the 10, I think there's going to be some sort of epiphany, that's the best word. Seeing things differently, or maybe a different way of doing it that makes it more Stacey Sparkly rather than more, there's a bit of a niche. Maybe you'll rediscover, or you'll kind of see it in a new light or from a different viewpoint. Give you a bit of a weak example of that, but okay. Yeah, you've got to try at least as much as you can, as much as any of us can. Right, your colour. Oh, hello. White. It's number 24, which is a 6. So 6, plate spinning number for me. Didn't sit with others. Well, you know what? They didn't have to see it. They didn't have to agree with it. They just got to know that you do it and just don't talk about it or move on. 26, plate spinner. There are things that you are doing that you no longer need to do. You need to drop those plates and focus on what matters. Just like the dog spirit said, what you feel is right for you. So you're dashing around, spinning all these plates. Some of you, you know what? Can't be bothered with it. Let them drop. Focus on the main ones. And it's white feather. Lighten up. You meet people for reasons, seasons, and lifetimes. And you know what? Sometimes it's good to move on or let the others go. Lighten up. I feel that. Are you holding on to them just because you always have, and because there's maybe a bit of a little bit of, for example, loyalty maybe there? Don't know, but I just think you need to just, you know what? If they don't like it, let them. There's a phrase that's coming to mind, but it's not. I can't say it on live. Like it, lump it, I suppose. But there you go. Stacey, I'll leave that there. Right, we're gonna do another quickie. Lessons learned. Patrick's absolutely right. Never worry about what others' opinions, as opinions don't feed the way I pay your bills. Absolutely. It's very difficult sometimes, though, when you kind of sometimes need that. You kind of think and feel you need the reassurance of others, when in actual fact, you don't really. Facebook users, I can't see who you are because you need to give StreamYard permission. Debbie McPherson, your name's just popped up. Debbie, I think it's McPherson. Debbie McPherson, she disappeared. I'm sure she was there a second ago. Yeah, there she is. Debbie McPherson, hello. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Yeah, my little ticket, the ticker tape at the bottom has got my own closed spiritual group there, where I offer lots and lots of different things. And also my hobby, my craft site is there. Currently there is a special on, but I don't want to get slapped with Veronica. Although Veronica can that card's just popped out while I was talking. In fact, Veronica has bought some things from my page, so she can justify and verify that I'm legit, as it were. Debbie, I can't honestly, and I'm no porcupines, so but I love it when this happens. I don't think I've ever seen this card before. It's card 26. So 6, as I just said, was plate spinning. But for you, this feels different. Thank you. Debbie, usually it's the plate spinner from the point of view, okay, I'm trying to manage all these things. and I'm not. The most important things are wobbling because I'm being stretched and my energy can't go around. Doesn't feel like this. The card is making me feel that, excuse me, wheezy, that you've got too many ideas. And I know you can't have too many ideas. That's when our lovely lists come into play. You write a list of things. I want to try this. I want to try that. I did one this afternoon regards of paintings I want to try. But I almost feel like you need to kind of have somebody just hold you still and say, right, Debbie, focus, because you don't know whether to go here, to there, to this, to that, the Reiki, the crystal, the da 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 da. You're buzzing. It's electric eel buzzing, electric eel spirit, and the message is bring your ideas into life. I think the problem here is you've got a few ideas, a few possibilities. They may not be ideas as in crafts to try or jobs to do, but I think you're firing on all cylinders. Always a million miles an hour. Well, yeah, Scorpios. I know that I am, and I can, heads like a washing machine full of marbles, absolutely. But yeah, you think you need to focus. If not, drop them down, get a bucket list, the ideas in the jar. But I think this is more focused. There's something, dare I say it, you've kind of jack of all trades and master of none, and this is that time to say, you know what, one thing's going to get my focus. I'm not going to forget about the other things, but for now I want to move forward in this particular area. Let's give you a color. What color? What number was the eel? 6. Yeah, the placement. Of course it was. Let's give you a color. I love it. So there are your two cards. Almost identical colors. So I'm going to talk about the colors. You've got pale blue. So blue, we know from the chakra system, is communication. I feel that darker blues are from things that need to be said from the heart, that have been on our mind for a long time, deep issues, whereas blue can be things like not able to get your words out, people not quite listening to you, nobody, the kind of the chatter when the message is being lost. So maybe these ideas are all over the place. 34 comes to a 7. Oh, perfect number to finish with. I said talked about 7s being the learning number. There's 7 heavens, 7 hells, 7 challenges of man. 7 is the ray of light we travel on, for example, when we were to ascend or learn from a doctor, mentor, spiritual healer, whatnot, when you see clearly, as it were. Turquoise, awaken your empathy. As simple as listening to what your heart and head feels to the direction you need to be in. Try and quieten that mind of yours. Not always easy. Go for what you truly feel is the direction for you to go in. Jot down the other ideas in case, but try and focus on one. And if you're not sure, try and quieten the mind a bit. Try and still the voices, still the noise, and just go with what feels right for you, Debbie. I think it's when you've made a decision, you are going to know, and all the other plates are going to drop, and you are just going to go, bang, this is me. This is so correct. I have no idea how to sort my thoughts and ideas to get people to take me seriously. Right. Order your thoughts. If you're anything like me, sleeping can be a problem purely because there's so much going on. A tip that I found to work recently, and things change, is that I play, and I know a lot of people do this, and I know so this might be anything new. There are white noise generators, but I have thunderstorm rain sounds playing fairly loud at night so that there's nothing else in noise in the street, can't be heard over it. And it just gives me that space to just focus on the random noiseness, as it were. The other thing I do if I want an idea to come to me is I get on a bus. I don't drive at the moment for various reasons, so buses are my only way of getting around. But my nearest big town away is about an hour away. So if I'm on the bus, I haven't got to think about anything else. There's no worry about parking or when the meter runs out, or having changed from the meter. When I'm on the bus, there's nothing to think about. You just look out the window, and that's a really good way I've found to focus, because I can't do anything else. So there's my advice for summer holidays. Get yourself on the bus. Don't do a 5-minute trip or a 10-minute trip. Get one of the all day roamers or whatever it is, and just sit on the bus with a packed lunch or whatnot, and just use that time to think about all sorts. And I guarantee you'll get personal guarantee. You buy one, get one free. No, personal guarantee that you will get off that bus with a clearer viewpoint of something, or more relaxed up here. Veronica, it's been an absolute privilege to be here. Your audience are always so lovely. So it's been lovely to have a session with you guys today. Have a lovely week. I'll be back here next Sunday at 5:30. Thank you. It's been lovely. And I'll see you also coming up. Veronica, have you got who's coming up next? Would you like to read anything out? Or I don't know who's next on for you. Thank you. Energy. I feel depleted now, but it's been lovely. Thank you for I'm sorry to hear other messages. Have a fab night. You're welcome, Debbie. Thank you so much. Both Debbies, thank you. Thank you to Paul. Who's up next? 2 p.m. tomorrow. Who's on? Would you like me to say anything? Let's just see. 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Who have we got? If not, I'm sure there's a post going up to say who's where. I can't remember. Right. In that case, have a lovely evening, all of you, and I'll see you next Sunday, where I can read for you some more. Take care. Bye-bye.